Hello, everybody. My name is Tucker, aka JEZREEL. Welcome back to another Jezzy Talk. It's been a week, since the last video. Yeah, I've noticed as soon as the video come out, I've just recorded the last video like an hour ago. So when you guys see this, it's gonna be from a week from now. But when you guys see this, it'll be I think the 14th of July, I believe. Yeah, the 14th of July, maybe a little further in the week. But anyways, that's not the topic. I don't feel like I'm good enough. This can go into so many different territories. It can go to so many different spaces, and it's such a vulnerable question, or it's a vulnerable statement. I'm not good enough. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't feel like I'm improving. I don't feel like it's worth it. Now, I'm sure we've all felt like this before. I mean, obviously we've all felt like this before. It really has such a detrimental it's such a detrimental thought, because when you're passionate about something, when you really enjoy doing something, it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. It could be biking for all I care. It could be fucking anything. Like, it could be chess. By the way, chess is fire, don't get me wrong, but it could be literally anything. And I've had those thoughts before. I've had these thoughts mainly with voice acting, writing, and just like love in general. And I think love is the part where it really fucks you over, And by the way, I'm 17, so if you have words of wisdom, then please share them in the comments section if you want to. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with what I'm saying, but I'm just speaking from personal experience, and this is just how things have gone with me. I've really grown up to be a person that has had trouble with being comfortable in their own skin. I've had trouble being comfortable in my own skin for the past, I would say, 10 years, maybe longer, ever since I was in elementary school, and I'm about to graduate high school. So that's crazy. But, it's a thought that I've had a lot, and, just for a little bit of lore, I was not a good student. I've never been a good student. Thankfully, I locked in, though, of course, but no. I was never really a good student. In middle school, I was awful. I did stuff, but, I just had straight D's, straight D's just to barely get past the year. But freshman, sophomore year, and junior year were the years that I really I gave up. I really gave up. Not junior year. Freshman and sophomore year. Freshman year, as soon as I got into high school, I was just, damn, this sucks. And I was scared of school. I was scared to do a bunch of things, so I just didn't do it. I didn't think I was good enough to do them. I didn't think they were worth doing. I thought it was just fucking boring. I thought they were just numbers. It was just working on numbers. Sophomore year, it was just like, man, I know this is probably the wrong mindset, but I guess I gotta lock in. First semester, I passed all my classes. Second semester, I went right back into that same mindset, failed like 4 classes. And junior year was really the year where I really locked in. I had like B's, C's, I know like a lot of people like to flex their grades and they have like straight B's and A's and shit, but like for me, a C to like a B is really, really good for me. And really the only worry for kids my age, for people my age, for people my age and under, 16, 15, 14, maybe not 14, but once you start getting into that point where you're just about to become an adult, it kind of worries your mind what you like what your parents are thinking, like do your parents even accept who you are? It really depends. Of course most parents probably do accept who you are. Most parents probably do accept they love you. They probably do love you. There's probably a 99% chance that they love you. And that's what really sucks, is that there are people that do have parents that really don't like them or don't love them, which is heartbreaking. And I apologize to anybody that has to go through all that. But in general, most parents love their kids. When we become parents in the future, I assume the ideal future for us is to have kids and love them and have them turn into men and women. To create life is something that isn't really a spark now necessarily, but it eventually becomes that spark where I'm like, I think I've done enough in this world. I think I need to continue this legacy. And of course, I have no experience with creating a kid. I don't have experience with much of life. I've been on this planet for 17 years now, and who goes to say that I know anything about life? Like I just talk from experience. My own thoughts. My own mind. What I've learned in the past 11 years I've been on this platform, on my computer. I've always grown up to be a very lonely person, and in general, it really is tough when you're a lonely person. It is tough to think that you're not good enough for a lot of things. I've really got I was 300 pounds like in sophomore year, and I wasn't doing the best. I wasn't depressed or anything. I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't doing anything, irrational. I was just in my room chilling, playing games and watching YouTube, not doing my homework. And, that's what really, as much as I say it like it's a bad thing, I am the most comfortable alone. I flake on so many people. Like, it's insane. Like, I do really like these people that I flake on, but it's just like, I'd rather be at home. It's like I'd rather be alone. And, anyways, but enough about me. This is about, just in general, the topic at hand here. I'm not good enough. That's the question of the day. I'm not good enough, or the statement of the day, But here's the thing is, like, people say I'm not good enough, but, like, even I say I'm not good enough. But then you go back to reality and you realize that you don't need to be good. You don't need to be good at all. You don't need to be good at anything. That's probably a lie, but you need to be good at living. You need to be good at eating so you can live. But what I'm saying here is, there are people that live life on jobs that don't take that much skill, and they're completely content with life like that. And I think the question really resonates with people who want to do more creative stuff, like just in general, like they want to be producers. Like, people who are really ambitious have those thoughts that are like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for anybody. It's like, especially when you're just lonely, you don't know if you're good enough. But, in my experience, you don't need to be good enough to live. There is one rule of life, and that's to live it. You know what I mean? That's literally it. That's all you got to do, is just live your life. So my word of advice is to not worry so much about how good you are for something or somebody. Don't worry too much about it. If somebody made a decision where they picked somebody else over you, that's not your fault. It's their fault for not seeing who you really are. They don't see the value in you. Trust me, I've had experience with feeling invaluable, and that's okay. Everything that you think is valid. Your thoughts are valid, especially with, in general, just saying I'm not good enough. Like, that's a valid thought. A lot of people think that. But it's not true at all. Everyone is good enough to live life. Everyone is good enough to be here. Everyone is good enough to be content. You know, everyone deserves that level of life. And, you know, you could say that you deserve love. You do deserve love. You deserve to be loved. You are loved. You know, and that's just like a struggle that people have, especially as teenagers. You know, I've had that. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, every single human on this fucking earth has had those thoughts. I'm not good enough. People don't love me. Everybody has had that thought. When I was fucking 13, I was acting depressed. You know, like I thought I was the most Sigma person of all time, you know, like, but I wasn't. You know, I was just somebody who was fucking 13. I just wanted to be sad for no reason. That's just how it goes. You know, sometimes people just like to be sad, and that's okay. You know, and I think the moral of the story is just you gotta be happy, man. You need to find happiness in things that aren't happy. You know, and that's what I'm doing right now. You know, like, I really wasn't content with how this channel was going, but after making a few videos about, you know, how life experience goes, how things go, you know, it's just like, in general, I'm content with if this is the way the channel goes. If the channel goes to turn into some advice channel like the Weekly Slap, or like just a commentary channel talking about things, then that's fucking cool, dude. You know, and I don't even care about the success. I just want people to look at it. I want people to know, and I want people to comment. I want people to tell me about it, and I want people to tell them their thoughts about it, like it used to be. You know, I used to make those videos, essays, and people would tell me their thoughts, and it was the coolest thing ever. You know what I mean? So, you know, just to end the video, not to drag on the video, you are good enough. You're good enough to be here. You're good enough for everything. You just need to work hard at it. Little bit of a callback of the last video, but you need to work hard. You know, that's also a rule. You need to work hard no matter what you do. You know, you got to work hard. Doesn't matter what it's for. It could be literally anything. You got to work hard for it. You got to work hard to live. My name has been Tucker. My name's Ben Tucker. I am Tucker, aka JEZREEL. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for listening, and I hope your day goes well. Hope it connected with you. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.